Science Bites. Did you know that 50 million years ago, Colorado and Wyoming were a tropical rainforest? Since then, the climate has changed, sometimes dramatically, but for reasons that can be explained in nature. In today's Science Bite, museum scientists Ian Miller and Richard Stuckey show how studying the conditions of the past can help us understand how humans may be changing the future of our planet.
50 million years ago, right here in Colorado and Wyoming, this was a tropical rainforest. It was teeming with all sorts of wildlife, from things like primates up in the trees. We had crocodiles that were 15 to 20 feet long, and little rhinoceroses that stood about this tall. There were things like palm trees and other exotic plants that were in this tropical rainforest.
And so this was a closed canopy forest. If you stood on the forest floor, it would be completely shaded above your head. So Richard and I are both paleontologists, and we use different kinds of fossil data to study this time period.
Yeah, what's really cool is that we've got this great collaboration between the two of us where we study the ecosystem, the entire ecosystem. Ian studies the fossil plants, I look at the fossil mammals, and together we get a great picture of what these tropical ecosystems were like right here in Colorado and Wyoming.
So we live in a very strange time in Earth's history where we have a lot of ice on both poles of the planet. The last time it looked like this was about 300 million years ago. Since about 50 million years ago, the climate has been cooling up into a point about 3 million years ago where we've had a lot of ice in the northern hemisphere. We've seen a lot of dramatic climate change during the last 3 million years where ice has come and gone, but this is due just to the orbital parameters of the Earth.
But we think today the process is changing because of humans' consumption of fossil fuels, which is creating more carbon dioxide, which goes into the atmosphere and creates kind of a blanket effect around the planet, and the result is more warming of the planet. Now, this is like the process that happened 50 million years ago.
We know that climate in Earth's history is changing all the time, but studying this time period really helps us get some perspective on what might be happening to the planet today.
We know that our planet is getting warmer today, and we think it's because of human dependence on fossil fuels.
Fossil fuels are simply dead animals and dead plants, and what happens is they accumulate over millions of years during periods of greenhouse climate. We dig them up, we burn them, and what happens is all the solar energy captured by them over tens of millions of years is burnt and re-emitted in just a few years. So we think we understand many of the processes involved in modern and ancient climate change. But the question becomes, will humans drive modern climate back to Eocene conditions?
We know that 50 million years ago we had both high rates of extinction and evolution that are related to the climate change that took place. By understanding the process of climate change and its impact on the ecosystem, it can help us better understand how we can better manage our planet.
DMNS.